Hello and welcome to Dragon Memoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, too bad. We already started. We're not gonna stop. Well, I'm saying this, and you never know. The end of the world could happen during stream, so. But we don't have any intentions to stop. We don't have any intentions to not being there next week, so you're stuck with us. So if this is really something you're allergic to, well, depending on where you're watching this from, there are suggestions either to the right or the left, and you can always go there. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, who actually wants to listen to this, who actually is involved in some way in finding out what's going to happen with this strange group of people who sometimes has really weird ideas about heroism and valor. Well, in that case, it's a pleasure to have you with us. If it's the first time you're here, welcome among us. If it's not the first time you're here, well, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And that's about it. As always, I forgot to open my resume of the last episode. Alright. So, I think that's about it. If you like the thunderstorm we have in the background, it's ambient music. There's a link below. You can make your own ambience for your own game. It's free. You only have to pay, well, it's not technically completely free because you have to pay to download it. But other than that, it is free. And you can use it as background music without any problems. Although, always read what they say on the website because you never know. They might change something at one point someday. So, if it happens, you'll be warned. If not, well, it can be fun. Alright, well, that's about it. That's all we have to say to start before we start. We might be getting people from Tobiyashi. How do you pronounce it again?
The Ikigai Discord server.
Okay. Sorry, those from the server. It takes a few tries for me to learn words which are not indigenous to my native language. It's gonna take me just a few times. But if you're from there, welcome. I hope you'll have fun tonight. And so, here we are. Now, imagine there's... Oh, cool. Are you worried that there's gonna be a special monsters? Did you go back in the story to check about what might be the monster at the end of the cave?
Calling it right now. It's a messed up. What are they called? Etten.
Oh, interesting.
Giants with
Interesting.
2 heads.
I want it to be a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Let's go.
I'll definitely consider it for the
Viking?
future.
It's gonna be a Heffenlump.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bunch of rats
things
with
are
just a
OP.
costume on to make them look more scary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sam, when were the purple people eaters from? You know stuff about sports.
All right.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
It's the nickname of the Vikings defense in like the 80s or 70s or something that was very good.
I know the greatest show on turf, but that's the only Vikings name of a team I know.
That's the Rams.
I only know the
Oh, there
Lost
you go.
Vikings. That was a very old game. That's it.
Never mind.
All right. So last episode, the party tried to ambush 3 toad-like guard in order to access the entrance of a cave they believe to be large enough to harbor their entire party and the troops following them for the night. The ambush went just as one might expect when two plate-wearing characters tried to lead a stealth attack. Fortunately, one enemy was neutralized quickly, and the rest of the fight was a losing battle for the enemy guards. Unfortunately, only a few party members were immune to disease, and as soon as the fight ended, non-lethal measure had to be taken to ensure the infection did not spread, cause panic, cause anyone to try to eviscerate someone else. We were previewed to a very interesting display with Tobiashi. But along with Jorg, audience was able to use his divine powers to save both of them from a very gruesome death. Remy wasn't infected. But
what are you talking about? Remy was saved as well. Don't forget.
Remy,
He got hurt too.
Yeah, well, Remy decided to do this more to draw the audience attention, to receive a bit of his divine powers, you know.
His delicate
To
hands.
heal him.
Divine healing.
It puts the lotion on the Cancun.
You'll have to remind me to talk to you about a spell that existed in 2nd edition. Divine experience. I kid
Older
you not.
editions were
It
weird,
really
man.
existed. It really existed. One player actually casted it once. Alright, so once all of that was done, the party and the troops gathered themselves up and entered the cave for a well-deserved night of sleep. Well, that's about what's gonna happen. But before this happens, audience was previewed to entertaining the noble woman with his charm, his interesting stories, and as soon as she fell asleep, felt really surrounded by 6 guards watching him like a hawk. And so he made sure that everyone was aware that he acted like a gentleman in every single way.
Audience, what if you become your own dad?
Whoa.
I think
I think
Or
I'd
grandpa.
be like
Great,
I
great,
think yeah,
great.
I'd be
yeah,
like
1,000
great-
years is a
a lot
little,
of generations.
a little more than that.
Dragonborn don't live that long.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe
Well, you better
you're,
start counting.
Maybe you're the
Well-
beginning of one of those
You could be
new
every
branches
relative
that you've
you
met.
had.
Yeah. Okay.
Be the former roommate in the Spaceballs one.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I knew that one by heart. I would have said it.
It's hard. It's so complicated.
Yes, but I'm sure some people know it. I'm sure some people know it by heart. Ah. And so, after this interesting experience, audience also went to sleep, followed by Tobiashi, who tried to talk to his pet inside his ball, who apparently felt very confused by the fact that Tobiashi seemed to not remember anything that he had promised to do up until now. But fortunately, Fisher was able to reassure it a little bit. And everyone went to sleep. Oh, I should have tried to find an ambience with a cave with
Cave.
dropping with a little drop in the background.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah.
And snoring.
Yeah, immediately just falls asleep.
Well, technically, there are 45 guards also sleeping in there, so there's probably some snoring.
Mm-hmm.
So, the night starts, and, well, the only one that I should ask that question is, Fisher, do you try and go to sleep? Or are you staying up and aware?
Man,
You are surrounded by a lot of people, but also you're in a strange dream.
yeah. I don't think Fisher thinks of himself important enough that him sleeping or not would be the difference in them all leaving the dream. So I don't think he would go to sleep,
All right.
especially with the fact that there is something in this cave.
Yeah, it's like if everybody else is playing Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
All right, so
Also, I get the benefit of the people talk in front of you when they don't think you're there or are listening in any capacity. So
yeah, no,
I think
absolutely.
I'd also kind of be trying to pay attention to
Well, in that case,
attitudes of the soldiers. If there's
make a perception roll.
never mind.
What did you roll?
It's a 10
Okay.
with Taranad's help, so a 7 otherwise.
It's extremely average. So
Yeah.
you hear a few people snoring. You saw the entire episode with audience. You know how the moment that she fell asleep, he sort of made sure the guards knew that everything was fine. Jorg and Tobiyashi really, because they feel everything is fine.
Yeah.
So,
How would you know there's something in the cave?
well, you might have something
where'd
that
you get this
something.
information from?
You might have something
Oh.
nagging you at the back
Go
of your
old
mind.
jelly.
You
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm gonna pull out my jelly thing before I go to bed.
know?
A little blob in a jar.
Okay. There is definitely a slight shake, but not something very violent.
Okay.
Probably similar to when you were arriving at Septane before it became evident that you were gonna have to kill a lot of people. So, judging from what you know, and the dream does alter everything so that it fits. You remember entering a town maybe a week ago with all of your friends, and you remember looking at your little blob before entering and saw that it was dancing at maybe like this. So you know that from that moment, there was still you still had time to leave if you wanted to. So it's not imminent, I'm gonna die right now. But it's also slightly close.
Yeah. I assume it just knows there's an army following us, and I'll go to bed.
Thinking about that, remembering Tobiyashi's eggs crawling out of his wound, remembering that that's going to happen to you if the army catches up. And so you fall asleep with those very interesting images in your mind.
Gotta watch out for my eggs, man.
Oh man. Uh-oh.
You see this tadpole crawling toward you. No.
We just didn't get rid of it. It's just still. I probably
I-
dream about that. If I even dream in this dream.
Mama, mama.
Well, it definitely makes you uneasy. Yes, you're going to be able to fall asleep, and you most likely have dreams, but there's this element of this army coming from another world, another plane of existence. You're not sure where. Aberration looks so alien, and a lot of them come from different planes. And usually they never join up like this. Most of them try to dominate one another and try to either kill or enslave one another, but this is one of the greater mystery of, according to you, your time, but according to everyone else, the past. No one knows what made this. Why did they all group up? And why did it stop? Wait, it didn't stop. You're in the middle of a wave.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. You're not sure why.
Don't worry, George. The wave confuses everybody at every baseball game.
Fisher, as you're trying to listen to everyone, Terranad sort of notices that you're having trouble isolating voices. So eventually he says, well, since we are a bit lonelier now, maybe we should have that conversation you wanted to have. Trying to pin everything on me for your actions outside of what they see is supposed to be the proper way of acting. There are three major types of artifacts. The first one, it's the only one that no one asks questions about. It's those created by gods. If an object has a mind of its own and it's been created by a god, no one says anything. They just, okay, fine. The problem is that most of these objects are known. They have a long history. And someone well educated will easily be able to call you out on this. Ask for the name of the object. And if they don't recognize it, they might suspect you. And contrary to Tobayashi's fart for brain pet, I don't think that the woman is a spoiled princess. She is too educated. Did you see how easily she handled Audience and Remy?
Sorry.
She's an accomplished diplomat. She knows how it works. And people like that, dressed like this, are usually very well educated. It all boils down to how do you trust her? She'll understand. I am pretty sure she is not a bumbling fool or a careless or reckless, spoiled brat. I am sure she knows at least a little bit of what she's doing. And those bracelets of hers, they are pristine, even though she seems to be looking everywhere. I'm almost sure that they're magical. Most likely have something to protect her.
Mm-hmm. So you think she's of an educated enough level that
She could
to
very
be able
easily
to know
And in this,
that you wouldn't have been made by a god?
I can't be sure. What I'm saying is that it's too risky. The second level of object are those created, well, by wizards. Mostly evil wizards and evil priests. It usually involves killing someone to put the soul in the object. And usually those objects have agendas, hidden agendas. You can easily imagine how bad this can get. If they think that this is the option, then you suddenly become a spy, a liability, a ticking time bomb.
For a little bit, I thought that's what Toby's weird angry ball was. But
Well,
I think it's
they're gonna accept him and his vaporous friend more easily than a creature who has an object created by killing someone and shoving it inside a ball.
yeah.
The third kind is, well, managing to make one on your own. Unfortunately, nowadays, it's not something that they know about.
Make one on your own, as in.
Creating an artificial soul.
Ah.
Creating something that is so lifelike that it fools people into thinking it's alive. Right now, they are so entrenched in war and surviving that this is not something that anyone is focused on. It'll happen soon enough. The art of making construct is going to pick up a few decades after this war. And some people are going to be able to make constructs which feel alive and feel like they are sentient, but are not. It's just not something that they are busy with right now.
Was that something that was forgotten then? Or did it just kind of phase out of popularity? Because most of the constructs I've ran into in our time don't. I mean, they're either sentient or they're not.
Oh, let's just say it's more of a sport for rich. It takes a lot of resource and knowledge to be able to create something that is as close to life as this. So it's something reserved generally for noble, extremely rich merchants.
An assistant is one thing. An assistant that can crack a joke is another.
Well, it's especially not needed right now. They would rather create a crab with 2 arcane ballistas, which can spew out balls that just polarize everything in front of them with arcane missiles.
We should get one of those.
Sure, if you got 75,000 gold.
Mm-hmm. We'll just steal it, and we go back to the future. Our tracks are covered.
Where it's going to be 1,400 years out of date.
Yeah, and then we just give it to the gnomes to have them fix it, and they blow up the garden, and then we can, I don't know, go do something else, I guess.
I am pretty sure that they have so much better than anything you can find here. Have you ever taken time to analyze that Illitane guy? The way he moves, the way nothing seems to faze him, even Core.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess he seems more like a person than a construct, even though he is a construct.
I have no doubt that in their world it is a common science how to create artificial souls, artificial intellect. It is fortunately not in our hands. Remember, they keep talking about going through a war. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear some say that Illitane and his likes were on the other side, the oppressor's side. And those like the one they affectionately call Rust Bucket were on the side of the good ones. Try imagine an army of Illithane coming at you.
Yeah, that's not great.
Fortunately, they say that it's all in the past, and they don't give any reason to believe that this is not true. Let's hope they're not as proficient at lying as Remy is.
Ramy do a lot of lying that you're clogging.
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way. He often play with words. Unintentionally, at the same time as intentionally.
I mean, it kind of helps when people have a hard time understanding you anyway.
In his case, if he wants to lie, he just needs to find the lie of someone else. Which makes it even more
Sometimes
confusing.
I feel like when he comes up with an idea, he's just repeating something and then hoping we interpret it into an actual idea.
Yes, that feels a lot like all of those charlatan fortune teller. Fortunately, some of them aren't bad like this, but you know, too many are.
And just to double check, you aren't a trapped soul that was created by a evil magician that's trying to take over the world or whatever, right?
No, my soul comes from the fact that my crystals were harvested in a floating shard that no longer exists. That helps having special properties. Yeah, that's
Cool.
a completely different subject. You know, everything about shards and how they orbit and they shine light on world. Well, some people figured out how to travel on those beams of light. So they sometimes travel to a close by shard. And some of them only exist temporarily. My crystals were found on one of them. Unfortunately, the shard stopped existing 65 hours after my gems were collected. So only 5 of things like me were made. And then they never were able to find it again. That's why they believe it just stopped existing.
So you telling me there are 4 others like you that might have a more agreeable personality that I could try out?
Well, if you don't mind having a lesser version, yeah.
Oh, I see. Does that mean you were the first or the last?
Does it matter? As long as I'm the best.
I guess not. Quick question. If I asked the others, would they also say they were the best?
All but one.
Fair enough.
You would say they were the very best, like no one ever was.
Feel like there's a song behind this.
Sounds to me like Fisher wants to catch them all.
Yeah, that's what I need. More NPCs.
You know, at one point, I'm just gonna let you manage your own menagerie.
Exactly.
Like, really work on those voice acting chops, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm great at that.
And I'm way too nervous to have a great variety of voices. In my private games, I do a whole lot more voices. I'm just a little bit too nervous in public.
That's any soldiers looking at me weird.
That's what I was gonna say. 3 of them are coming your way. I think they want to know
No.
what you're mumbling about.
This will be good.
You see one of them
I'll
running next to you, and
Look up, stare at them.
he turns toward the other guy next to him. It's so creepy. I mean, everywhere you go, it feels like he's looking at you. Yeah. Ugh. People have the weirdest idea when they're making those things. They keep on walking.
I'm gonna keep staring at that one soldier for the rest of the night.
When morning comes, everyone starts waking up, and they hear this one guard saying, "He just kept staring at me. These eyes, these red eyes, these red eyes." They have to drag him all the way. So, eventually morning comes. You get your full long rest. each and every one of you. Fisher, you try to listen to conversation, but other than picking up a few bits and pieces of news, very mundane news that people have, learning about there was a village attacked a few days ago and they haven't heard from their families. There was a camp of blade masters that held up against a wave for nearly a month, but they are without news from this camp for nearly a week now, and they fear that they were either overcome or infected, which would be even worse. Some of them are talking about Bahanor. You get the feeling that this is a huge city, incredibly large, has a lot of protection, and it's considered nearly a shield point that the enemy would need to go through in order to keep on going to the next island chain. And it's not going to be easy, but knowing history and the fact that you've never heard of Bahanor, maybe you already know their fate.
They changed their name after a rebranding session.
Yep.
And so when the morning comes, this is mostly everything you've heard. Worries, rumors, stories. Everyone wakes up, and fortunately, Jorg and Tobiyashi are still as confused as ever. You can hear Tobiyashi's pet ball friend. I don't know. The Ashmit. This is the type of creature it is.
Doesn't everybody wish they had a ball friend?
Still feeling as confused and wanting to know why Tobiyashi didn't spend a little bit of time learning Primordial with you before going to sleep. And then you get Audience and Remy. Remy, for some reason, seems not at all confused with everything that's been happening, because from his point of view, it's obvious. Audience, again, you feel the pressure of the dream trying to push itself on you, but you still manage to hold on to some elements around you that keeps you grounded. As well as you, Fisher. Well, Terranad helps a lot. He keeps you very well grounded.
Yep.
Your feet are firmly planted on the ground. If you ever even think about soaring above your stature, he will make sure that...
Just constantly cutting me down to make sure that I'm grounded.
Yeah.
No other reason.
He's doing it for your for you, because he does not hate you.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he does it only because he loves you.
Well, that's the word I was looking to avoid. A few moments after you all wake up, Audience, Kalina just joins you candidly. That was a interesting night. Can't say that I've slept very often in caves. And now that I think of it, I think you had a pretty good idea. I thought about it more during the night. I woke up for a few minutes. And you took a little bit of time to wake up, so I kept thinking about this. And I think we would have had to come back here if we hadn't during the day. Because I'm not sure that the plateau we were on would have taken us close enough to the city. So it's a good thing. It's a good idea. You have very good intuition.
Thank you. Some might even call it foresight.
I mean, you are a holy knight. You never know. Maybe your god inspired you.
Yes, the power of the dragons is mighty.
Well, it was a dragon who helped you.
Yeah, it was, technically. I'm not lying.
Meanwhile, the spellcaster behind the screen's like, "You can't cast foresight, you liar." Not even on your list.
So you see her go and walk among everyone, getting them woken up, cheered a little bit even. Even arrived at you, Tobiashi, and she looks at you and goodness, you look still tired. Well, I hope you're feeling better. You had a very interesting day last.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, but I think I still feel some maggots. No. No. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better. This wound still kind of hurts, but it should be better in no time. Kind of feels like there's something missing inside of me, but who knows?
Don't worry about it. I'm sure that you're incredible health. And she taps on your stomach when she says this. Your rock hard abs are what drove these creature out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And audience did a lot of it too with his magical hands.
You are an incredible team. Fisher, you hear from inside of you. See what I mean?
Well,
Meanwhile, Raimi has purposefully failed his stealth check as he could hear his eyes rolling from a mile away.
did audience tell you when we're gonna be going, or which way? What are we doing?
Well, looking at all of your friends, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty soon. I don't know what kind of a breakfast you eat when you sleep in a cave, but
Rations.
We have some dried meat, a baguette. You want a baguette?
Where did we get a baguette?
A very hard baguette. Just pull it
Yeah,
out
I was
my
gonna
bag.
say if you have a baguette, it's more of a club now.
she looks at you and says, "Well, that's
It's
a
a
quarterstaff, not a baguette."
I think our druid could make you something to eat.
Yeah,
Of course you would. No one knows herbs better than a druid.
yes.
Oh yeah, he has some really good herbs, very fine herbs.
I'm sure you can season a breakfast as bland as dried meat to feel like the incredible feast a king would have.
Yeah, Jordan, you got that?
Now, you see, you guys use a lot of salt. I'm not all about that. So
Hey,
I don't know if you'll like
what
what I make.
Well, don't be shy.
do you mean?
I'm sure that if you ask one of your companion, someone is gonna have something interesting to add to the mix.
All right.
I believe in you.
Well, we could set up. What are we gonna use for cooking? Can we set up like a cooking station for me?
Well,
I'm pretty
Or
sure
we-
some of our soldiers should have like pots or something, pans.
Yeah.
you have an
No,
object
gonna-
that you can literally brew potions with. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can make something to eat with.
Did we get out? Did we harvest any of the meat and stick it in our ice locker from that ice elemental worm or no? 'Cause I could
Oh,
fix
yeah.
that
Some
out.
of that,
Probably
and then we
did.
can make like a
I
stew,
don't know
you
about
know?
meat. We've got a bunch of like organs and a whole lot of blood.
I mean, ice elemental sausage.
Yeah, we can make like some
Yeah.
bone broth stew, you know?
I'm gonna mumble the audience. Do you think like she has her own food? Also,
All right.
Baronet's from-
Probably. I mean,
Now-
they have an army of 44. I assume they have stuff they can make. They've had
I'll-
been
I'll-
eating.
I will ask her to supply me with some meat if she does want me to cook.
Supply me with meat.
One thing
Meat.
one thing that happens when you start talking about having meat hidden in a ice locker and everything, and you realize that maybe the guards have food on them, and maybe she has food. You see them all with their dried meat and hardtack, looking at all of you, looking at your group, just.
We weren't hunting while we were out there.
No, hold on. I have to add to this. There's like a ding sound as after Raimi has put a silver coin in his box, pulls out a truffle.
Hey,
All right, well, Jorg, while you do that, I'll be over here. I'll start bouncing my ball against the
Oh.
wall.
I'll tell Jorg that I was a cook for the soldiers back home, so if he needs any pointers, I can help him out.
That is the cute zapper.
I have some cooking gear too on me. I'm pretty sure.
I would like to borrow that. I have a brewing station, but it's kind of
All right.
designed for.
I had
small
some
quantities of
cooking gear,
little
so
things.
I'll hand over some of my cooking gear.
All right.
I'm sorry. Isn't Toby's ball like a metal
Yeah, but it turns to rubber.
ball?
Turns
yeah,
to
yeah.
rubber.
No, it's
Wow.
another ball.
Is that?
He's got more than
Yeah, it's
one
another
ball.
ball. Yeah, I have two balls. To be
Okay.
honest.
He's got a ball. He's got one ball that has something inside, and another one that's solid, that can be either hard or bouncy. So he's
Yeah,
he technically has two balls.
I have two balls. One's a little smaller than the other, but
Remy,
works.
Remy, do you think I should cut your microphone for a few minutes?
uh, woo.
So,
Okay.
All right.
who does Remy give his truffle to?
Sounds like he's eating it.
Well, honestly, like he probably shares a little bit of it with, as sort of an apology for yesterday.
Well, it's definitely very good. Enjoys it. Has a bit of a fishy taste. It's good.
But I guess, like, I imagine, just, like, as you guys are having this conversation about what are we gonna cook, it's just like Raimi's just like walking over with the truffle in his hand, just like little bee. The beak kind of like pecks into it.
Ah, see? Your friend already has something to eat. You wouldn't happen to have more. I think they're a bit stumped on what to make.
What is it to cook with? What do you use? Like, which skill check would it be? Would it be medicine?
Cook's tools.
Survival?
Proficiency.
The tools would give you it would allow you to add your proficiency to it. I'd say it's probably intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay.
I can do that. I don't have a very good intelligence score. It's a 6. It is.
That's not-
Drive
All right,
me.
I'll come over. I'll come over and try to help him from what I learned over at my monastery.
Ooh.
They cook.
Okay.
Should I roll
I
or
feel
give
like-
the advantage?
I feel like baking specifically would be intelligence, but just cooking I feel like would be wisdom.
Yeah. Come on.
Because baking's the only one that needs like hard numbers in chemistry. Regular
Oh
cooking
yeah.
doesn't really care about that stuff.
Yeah, you can
I
do
just
it
have
by
to
skill.
be wise about what each of my herbs taste like and how they go together.
Okay, which one should I use? So intelligence or wisdom?
So you see, nature is intelligence.
Medicine is wisdom.
Mm.
I don't know why I care about this. I don't eat.
All right, I'll
Um,
do intelligence then.
Uh,
and
Jorg's cooking style is very unintelligent
So okay,
and
okay,
based
ours
off of
together.
his not prior knowledge, but just kind of doing whatever.
Audience is worried, having actually been a cook for a while.
All right, so mine and his number together is 16. So I think we're good.
Well, I don't think that's
Yeah.
how checks work.
Isn't it?
I take the best of the two. So Tobiyashi, I think yours is the
That was a
best.
9, yeah.
It was a
You got a
9.
10.
A 9.
So, audience, you're looking at them cooking, and it feels like they're turning dried meat into drier meat.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Gotta
come
make
over and
it
help
like
us.
You dryer.
Audience is gonna probably lean over towards Killian and be like, "So neither of them I've ever actually seen cook in my life, so I don't know how this is gonna turn out."
Well, they're trying.
They are.
I mean,
Could
they look
Yeah.
the most confused in your group, so
Come on.
it's
actually could Raimi, instead of helping, interject? Just like stop them before this disaster happens.
well,
No,
Like
you guys don't get
trying
food.
stuff out.
Well,
I'm
you-
pulling random herbs out. And we're just seeing what
because
happens in
they-
the pot.
I-
That's
That
just
smells good.
I'll
how we're
say
doing it.
because they already rolled, you can't prevent them from failing at it, but you can prevent them from trying to feed people with their failure. when you
Okay.
realize that jerky has become boot litter, it's
well, it's not our fault that no one hunted.
Okay, perfect. So, Jorg and Tobiyashi, suddenly, for no reason at all, a great force just pushes over all of the delicious food
No.
that you have prepared, and all of it falls to the ground and gets dust and sand and dirt all
Yeah.
up into it. It is inedible now.
Well, looks like we gotta
well,
start again.
Yeah, that's
Wait, George, can't you call animals?
well, then we can butcher them.
Well, I mean,
Audience, before this goes any further,
Oh.
like, unfortunately, guys, we
I
are
don't know
on
the
a
moral
deadline, and I don't think
ramifications
we're
of
gonna have
that.
time to restart the cooking process.
Kalina agrees. She just said, yes, I think this is better.
Kalina,
Don't
you
worry.
didn't have your guys hunt. I needed fresh meat for that.
Well,
That's-
we
I blame this on you.
don't worry, Jorg. It's. I know you might feel responsible for this, but it's. We didn't have time to hunt, like you say, and yet, like you said, and don't worry about it. They have dried meat. At least it looks like that. As soon as we get to the city, I'll ask someone to give you a little room to prepare something special. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think we need to try to cook more, George.
You'll get a
yeah.
second chance.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't cook all that often.
That's all right. I understand.
How about I learn how to cook, and you give me the herbs to cook?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
She looks at you, audience, when they say that.
Audience is like, I'm just gonna keep cooking my own stuff. They can do what they want.
You had the power to help us. Get out of here. You have no say.
Yeah,
Right.
you're the one that supposedly knows how to cook.
I gave you the pot to work with. That's my cooking gear.
Right. So,
Ding!
eat up, and we're going to be leaving as soon as we can. Time is moving forward, always.
Hey, George, you have any more of those berries?
I don't. Mostly just because I don't want to waste a spell slot on that.
I see. All right,
Yeah.
well, I'll just eat my rations and let's go.
Yeah, I'll eat a ration too.
Nobody else
Also-
tried to cook. Why are they judging us? Jeez, I
Yeah,
can't believe these people.
yeah.
Sam, are you telling me that audience has been running around this whole time like Sam from Lord of the Rings with just a bunch of pots and pans hanging off his backpack?
Yes. Along with the massive money pouch.
Amazing.
Although audience, like as they are cleaning up, Raimi hands you a truffle that was made with a gold coin.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Remy.
It's delicious. It's incredible. It's
That'll get me through the day.
perfectly balanced, exactly the right kind of spices that you like, mixed in with the ganache.
It's a little bit spicy because for some reason audience likes that.
No, just a truffle for breakfast. You're gonna have to make a con save in like 45 minutes, or you're gonna
I
show
had
crash.
some rations. I had some dried meat. It was dried meat and a truffle.
You'd be surprised how long chocolate can keep you walking.
Yeah.
So long as
Wait, you
And
put
then I'm
chocolate
probably
in your
gonna
cat?
go. I'm probably gonna go start making sure the soldiers are all ready to go. Make sure everyone's ready to go because I want to start moving.
A lot of soldiers look very confused about everything that just happened, and some of them were hoping to get a very special meal, and apparently they didn't.
I'm like, I'll turn to any soldier who looks at the plan and be like, "Trust me, they don't cook. You didn't want that meal. Trust me, whatever you had was better."
You get a few ones that look at Remy eating chocolate.
I'll look at them. I'll be like, "It's a magic item. I don't know."
How about
You can
this?
make
Well,
chocolate.
you're eating yours.
All of them give you a gold piece, and you give them a silver truffle.
Yeah, I'll be like, you have to give him
Then
money.
make
He
them.
turns money into chocolate. If you want to give him money, he'll maybe give you a chocolate.
Maybe.
That's up to you, though.
I love how you said maybe.
Maybe he might just take it. I don't know.
You
Remy,
can't
His,
promise anything.
his currency's too old. The box doesn't accept it.
I think that box is from like. I think that box accepts all currency.
Remy, after 20 minutes, while you're placing everything back in your backpack, there's a moment where you have this. The soldiers are standing in line. Some of them have a copper in their hand, others have a silver in their hand.
Raimi just blinks. Sighs.
All of the soldiers are there.
Oh no! I just slowed down the process so much.
Start a truffle business. All right, I think it's time for us to head out.
We can't. They're all getting chocolate now.
Yeah. They can get it
Fisher's
when we
just been
survive.
standing at the entrance to the tunnel going forward for the past like 30 minutes.
Well, 45
Well,
people,
meet
so
up
it's
with them.
45 minutes. If Remy decides to give chocolate to everyone.
Can I be like, no? Like, we can't wait 45 minutes. We have an army on our tail.
Well, that's
Do it while you're walking.
Yeah.
that's
I'll be like,
entirely
we can-
up
we
to
can-
Remy now.
Oh God.
I'm looking at Remy shaking my head. I'm hoping he sees it. Like, we don't have time. Don't do this.
So on one side you see audience shaking his head, and on the other side you see a row of 45 soldiers with money in their hands. You have a choice to make.
Yeah, that's like it's like Raimi will respond in a woman's voice, looking toward the soldiers. Well, come on now, boys. Let's not spoil our lunch.
Hold on, gotta roll 45 insight checks.
No, I'm rolling for a few different things. When there's a lot of people, usually I roll 3 dice and I split the quantity of people in 3. A lot of them seems extremely disappointed. Some of them are even holding back maybe a tear or two. They really wanted it. They all go back, without exception, looking down. Some of them slightly demoralized, but they all go back to their things.
I feel like the soldiers just hate us.
Audience is looking at them like, what is this excuse for an army? All so upset about some chocolate. What are these soldiers?
We don't need them to like us.
Yeah.
Fisher,
We don't owe them anything.
Fisher, Taranad just points out, aren't most of those soldiers going to be dead in 2 days? Huh.
I don't want to mention it.
I'm standing right next to Fisher. I'm like, mention what?
change
What are you
fast.
talking about?
And so...
What was that?
Sorry, I thought I heard you talking.
Why would I be talking?
I don't know.
Taliashi, you suddenly get a weird slap in the back of your head.
Ow, sorry, I thought... Jesus. Wait, who the hell is Jesus?
It's a prophet from a distant land.
Well, it's not like you see the hand.
Are you all right, Toby?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a rock fell on my head. I've been getting hit all the time since I entered this cave. I don't. Wait, did you just ask if I was okay?
Yeah.
Audience is walking by at this point. As a bodyguard, part of his program is making sure us as party members are in good health.
Okay. Well, I
Alright.
think we should start heading out now. Let's get all these soldiers together. They're gonna make a
Well,
shit ton of noise going down
We're
this
waiting
cave.
on Rami. Rami's our scout. He needs the lead.
Well, now that Rami has assured the men that now is not a good time for a truffle shuffle, as it were.
All right.
Puts his box away and I guess now that is around again. I guess he's going to do like what he was originally doing before they got poofed.
All right. So you take the lead, and everyone forms up. Soldiers at the back, all of you at the front, the noble woman and her 6 guards in the middle. You keep on going to the on the other side of the cave, and it keeps going down a little bit. Audience, are you alright? Your camera kept shaking. Do you have an earthquake?
Not that I noticed.
Okay. You leave the cave, and of course, the first thing you realize, oh yeah, that's right. Moving in a cave that carries sound, echo. 45 soldiers walking, all in armor, wearing spears and shields. Let's just say that you can very easily count the number of people walking behind you. It takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Let's go with 5.5. Until you reach a point where you see a small arch in front of you. And this is where you remember something about the story. The adventurers and the soldiers were forced to walk in a maze of tunnels left behind by those mining displays for a long time. Well, less than a day, but for several hours before they manage to get out. You get the feeling, okay, so this is the arch where this part of the story starts. So you
Oh,
you enter the arch.
yeah. I think before we enter, I'll turn to Fisher and I'll be like, we might be in here for a little while, so should we tell them a heads up about the maze, or should we just know that this part might take us a little while?
I think they don't need to know if it doesn't affect them.
Here, I know what I could say. I'll turn to Kalina. I'm gonna be like, I've been in I grew up next to a lot of dwarven mines and dwarven tunnels. Oftentimes an archway like this precludes to a maze or a maze of tunnels oftentimes, so make sure that we as soldiers stick together, because we may be having to figure out our way through a maze in these tunnels, and it's important we stay together and don't get separated, because otherwise we may never find each other again.
You may be right. I do remember a story about Dwarven trying to build a hall at the bottom of the cliff. They did manage, but they went through the ore quite fast. So they left, and humans decided to pick up where dwarves left off, thinking that they would do better. So you might be right. Let's just say that I've seen a few mines. I've never been in one, but I've seen a few ones, and people inside of mines do tend to say that they go on endlessly and make tunnels everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be right.
Well, if there are directions, if they're in Dwarvish, I at least will be able to read them, because I do understand the language. But
All right, well, let's hope that the people that dug after the dwarves came by didn't dig too far everywhere. All right, then, let's go.
all right, we'll head through the arch.
She turns around, reassures everyone in a very diplomatic way. And you start entering this. So, the moment you enter this archway, you find yourself... first of all, the tunnels are wide enough for two people to walk side by side quite easily. So probably somewhere between 10 and 15 feet wide. But they are human-sized. So this is not the part that the dwarves dug. Dwarves tend to give themselves a lot more room than they need to. So fortunately, this is the part where humans were digging. But first thing you see is that it goes to the right and to the left. And after maybe a minute of walk right in front of you, it stops.
Hey, audience.
Yes.
I remember reading a book about people trying to find their way through a really dense forest. Maybe there's a way that if we do go down a path that isn't the right way, we could mark it as the wrong path.
Maybe.
I have these, and then I use the head of defacing, and I'm going to get 15 red balls and then 15 blue balls. and I'll show them to him. I was like, we could mark red where the pathway ends or doesn't go anywhere, and then we could mark with the blue balls the right path.
Works for me.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Don't balls roll around?
They're paintballs, so they burst with paint.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, I can't believe I can adapt this easily. Okay. Blue and nothing else. Good. All right. Oops.
All right. Well, you lead the way, and I'll start marking wherever I can, whatever one you say is the right path.
Okay.
All right.
Like I said, it goes right or left.
You ready to see what I
I will look for any instructions first, obviously. If there are any instructions in Dwarvish or anything, any writing I can find.
Fortunately, like I said, you get the feeling that you are in the portion that humans dug. So everything that they had place has long faded away and fallen apart. You do find old wood. Like I said, it's been nearly completely erased. Not any meaningful help for getting through this.
Right. I will go right first, then.
Okay, so you go right, meaning like this. After a little while, the corridor the hallway turns to the left, and you find yourself having to choose between going right or up.
Well, I assume we want to go up. Up seems good. So I guess I'll head up.
Well, when I say up, I mean right in front of you.
Oh, okay. So not
Forward.
actually like in an
No.
upward slope.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Alright, I'll keep going right then.
Jack, how do you think this would taste with vodka?
Okay. It takes a little while, but after, you'd say, between 5 and 10 minutes, you unfortunately find yourself at a dead end. It's quite easy to see that the walls were picked to the point where miners abandoned the idea of finding anything in there.
Alright. I'll be like, alright, mark it, Toby.
All right. We'll mark it. So when we start heading back, I'll mark it at the entrance of where we had to go right, like on the ground.
Okay.
Alright, then we'll head straight.
All right.
Yep. I'll put a blue ball on the ground right there. Then we keep going.
You never know. It might become a blue ball. Or not. All right. So you keep going up, and it snakes after 1 or 2 minutes, goes to the right, and then you move forward for about 4 minutes, and then it goes back, turning to your left. Then after 1 or 2 minutes, you find yourself entering a very large room. Judging from its configuration, feels like it used to be a dormitory. Very similar to the one that you had when you entered the cave. There is a way out of this room in all 4 directions. Straight forward, to the right, and to the left.
We'll keep going straight.
All right. So, you walk through the room and walk through the archway. You keep going straight forward, and it leads you to a T-shaped intersection where you can go right or left.
We'll go right. trying to act very confident while I do this. Too. Like I definitely am not just guessing every time we come to an intersection.
Try to have a very wise way of looking at this. You're at the direction, you look at this, and to the right. Alright, well, this one takes a little bit more time before you reach a point of some sort. So you keep going forward about 2 minutes, then it suddenly turns to your right, and after a minute it goes back to the original direction you were going. And keep on going like this for 4 or 5 minutes, then it turns to your right. And then you keep going up for another 5 or 6 minutes, and then you find yourself in a cross intersection.
Okay. Left or right again?
Cross intersection.
Forward, left, or right.
left, right, and where you came from.
I'll just go forward.
Okay.
And no, Sam, this shouldn't kill you.
Or it doesn't kill me.
Okay. So, you go up, and then you turn. You are forced to turn to your left. Then you keep going for about 4 minutes, and then it feels like it never ends because you have to turn left, and it goes on, and you walk for nearly 20 minutes. Long corridor. You don't see anywhere else it goes. At one point you think that this might have been an entrance of some sort, but it's completely collapsed. Absolutely no way of entering it.
Honestly, the less corridors we see, the happier I am, because that makes me feel like we're making progress. I might be wrong, but it makes me feel like we're making progress.
Okay. And then it turns to your left, going nearly 10 minutes before, again, you're forced to turn left, and you find yourself at a T intersection. You can either turn to your right or go forward.
I'm going to keep following the rules I've been following. I'm going forward.
Going forward. Then in that case, after 2, maybe 3 minutes, you find yourself at a cross intersection, going left or right.
I'll go right. I'm also going to tell Toby to start marking the way we go with balls, in case we're running over the same
All right.
intersection.
I'll start marking the ground with them.
Infinite number of balls.
So
I have 25, 15 each.
I'll be like, just mark it with blue, because we don't know if they're wrong, but
All right.
at least mark that we're going right.
Was the
Going-
most recent turn?
Right.
Right.
So you're
you.
turning here. All right. You go on for another 3 minutes, and then you find yourself in a large room again. Very similar to the one that you left nearly an hour ago. But it's not exactly the same thing. It's different. However, on this one, you do see signs that something else might have inhabited it for a while, but not anymore. You see a lot of signs of spider webs, but these spider webs are old, falling apart. If there were giant spiders in here at one point, they've long left this place. It's still a bit gruesome, and some of the guards, when you enter, just go, ugh, looking at all of these spider webs filled with dust and whatever is there, and a few unfortunate animals that got stuck there and were left there to die because no one ever came to eat them. But again, this room has 4 exits. The one that you just came out of, 1 to your right, 1 to your left, and 1 forward.
I'll keep going forward. Tell Toby to mark it.
On market.
We're obviously in a different room now, so we're going somewhere.
All right, so, and as you might have guessed,
I like that no one's questioned me at all. We're just we've just been walking. Like, no one's questioning me. We're just like,
well,
going.
I'm taking that into consideration, but for now, it doesn't. No one feels like they're going in circle, so they don't have any reason to question you. But it's
Of course not. I'm an excellent guy.
But if they do
I mean,
start at
trained
one
in
point,
survival, right?
I'm okay in survival. I have a +3, and I'm proficient in survival.
Yeah.
But since you mention it, it does cross your mind at one point that, all right, well, so far it doesn't feel like we're going around in circle. And you're a bit lucky on that because with this many people, some of them a bit demoralized, if they start thinking we're going in circle, some of them might start trying to figure this out on their own. So there is a danger, but it's currently not present. So you keep going forward about 4 or 5 minutes, and the corridor turns to the right.
Okay.
And it keeps going for another about 2.5 minutes, where you have a choice between going forward and going right.
And I'll go forward. And tell Toby to mark it.
Marking.
I'm adding blue balls on the map that I have. It feels weird. So, you keep on going forward, and you move forward for a good 5, maybe 6 minutes, until you're forced to turn to your left. Immediately, you find yourself in front of an archway, and it leads inside a room. This room is much smaller than any other rooms you've seen so far, and it feels like maybe it was a storage room at some point. Maybe an infirmary. Again, there's not a lot left in here. It feels like everything has been abandoned for at least 50 years.
Okay. What are the ways out of this?
There are 2 ways out of this room, one to the left and one to the right.
I'll go right.
Marking.
After maybe 2 minutes, you unfortunately find yourself at a dead end again.
Go
Okay.
back. And then I cover the blue ball with the red ball.
We'll go left.
All right. So you keep on going forward. And again, it is a very long walk. As you walk for a good 10 minutes before the corridor turns to your left. And then it goes on for another 7 minutes before it turns to the right. After a few minutes, it turns again to your right. And then, after 4 or 5 minutes, it turns to your left. And you find yourself at a cross intersection. So you can go forward, left, or right. You've been walking in this intersection for nearly 25 minutes now.
Well, I don't see any balls, so we're still making progress. So I'm gonna go forward.
Marking.
Okay. So, moving forward. You move forward, and 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you're forced to turn to your right. And then, after another 2 minutes, you're forced to turn to your left. You go on for maybe another 6 minutes before you're forced to turn to your left. And then, following after a few 2 or 3 minutes, to your left again. And then to your right after another 2 or 3 minutes. And then you find yourself walking for another 4 minutes until you find yourself at a cross intersection. And not a cross intersection, a T intersection, going either right or left.
We'll go right. Marking right.
Marking.
Okay. You go right, and after 3 minutes, you find yourself staring at the door you used to enter this maze.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Like very beginning?
Yeah. You made a full circle.
Okay.
A real full circle.
Well, that's good to know. Actually, that's kind of good, though, because I feel like that gives actually a lot of information of now how that's kind of formatted. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Do we see any balls?
I mean, not immediately, because we didn't start placing them until
The next one,
two
yeah.
or three down, yeah. All right.
It's hard to
I'll
tell.
turn-
It's hard to tell because you don't have any way of keeping time. But you'd say that you've been moving in here for oh. Nearly 2 hours. Or maybe a bit
Alright,
over it.
I don't feel bad. The dream, I didn't expect to get it on my first try. The dream said it would take a few hours for the adventurers to be lost in the maze. So I feel like fate had decided that I wasn't going to get it on my first try. So I'm not upset about this.
Okay. Well, you do see that a few guards are upset, however, and they're looking at this and, all right, well, you know, mistakes happen.
I'll turn back and I'll be like, we have now done. I'll be like, I wanted to make sure by following the same path that we could make a full circle, make sure we knew what we were walking into. Now that we have explored the full route of the maze, it should be far easier to actually figure out the correct path. Keep the confidence up. Instead of just wandering randomly through it.
Make a persuasion roll.
Okay.
See how
Fair
well
enough.
you formulated that.
Nat 20, 22.
Good lord, everyone is...
Damn.
You just talk a little bit and then you see everyone just going, you know, yeah, no, it's okay, yeah. You didn't lose any of their confidence. In fact, it feels like you even gained the confidence of a few ones, and those who felt demoralized because they didn't get any chocolate now have forgotten the morning and they're not as sour about not getting any chocolate.
I'll give a wink at Kalina, like, look, I can do it too. It's not just you. I have talent.
She looks at you and she very politely and quietly gives you a little clap.
Alright. Back to it.
All right.
Now we now have to think a little bit more though. So we know by going straight and right, basically, that's how you make a full circle.
That is one way to make a full circle.
It's one way, but
Could
we
be
know that by
right.
basically the straight and right, like that's how, like we did make progress, but we made progress in a circle, like.
Mhm.
So we just have to think about it a little more. All right, so we'll go through the arch to start.
All right. So from the arch, going right, going left.
We made a right initially, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
We did, because there should be a ball right there.
Yes, it
No,
takes
there
it takes. If you go right, it takes 2 minutes before you find
And then there's a dead
yourself next to a red mark on your right and a blue mark straight forward.
So I'm actually going to turn to, because I know that from a little bit about what I know about Raimi, he spent some of his life underground, I think. A little bit. I'm not completely sure,
Remy,
but I know that he.
It's like I think.
audience remembers that you spent time underground.
So I'm going to turn to Remy. I'm going to be like, from what I know about mining rooms, I still don't think necessarily going right is incorrect here, because I think we had to make it to that first room before we could make progress. But what do you think? Do you think we should try the left way just to see where it goes, or do you think we should continue at least to the first large room, which I still think was what we were supposed to do, from what I know about mining habits?
So are we still at the entrance again, or?
Yeah, we're still at the entrance.
Yeah, but I'm asking if we should take a right to
Okay.
go back to the first
Where
big
we
main
were at.
room we went to. We were in, and go a different basically route from there, or if we should, because we're at the first fork, and I still think going to the first big room was correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're at the first fork, doesn't going right send us to a dead end?
No,
Is
we
not
marked with the
marked.
We're at the
no.
next big room, not this one.
Yeah, you're thinking about the second big room, I think.
No.
No, because we
There's
should have
a
marked
dead
it with
end
the
right
red.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
Well,
we
if there's a
marked it with
red ball, there was a dead end. If there's no red ball, it was not a dead end. We marked all dead ends we crossed with the red ball.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a red ball?
When you start from the archway, no, not right now. It's at your first intersection. That was, if you go right, you're forced to go left after a minute or so, and that was your first intersection. That's when you started marking corridors with balls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we should still go right. But
Okay.
I'm listening to other
Okay,
opinions.
so-
Someone thinks we should go left, but I think that left.
So we're
While they're talking, George
you
wants
start,
to
you go to an
investigate,
intersection, it turns right. The first intersection, did we start marking with balls, or is it just
No.
you start and then the
That was the
tunnel
second
purples?
intersection,
I think we started marking right after the first big room.
which is where we're at.
No, we're not at the first big room. We were at
No, we
the
have to
first
start.
archway. We just passed the first arch. We're basically restarting the maze.
Can Jorg investigate the walls and stuff to make sure there's no like markings or anything? I assume there's not, but I want to make sure.
If we'd been here, there'd be a or.
Oh
since
yeah,
we
other
started
than the
marking-
orbs, just like
Yeah.
Stuff left behind.
Actually, there's a hole in the way that you've been marking everywhere. Yes, it is after leaving the first room that you started marking the place, but Tobiashi started mentioning this, so there is a red ball before the big room. But for you, Jorg, like audience already looked where he could, so you can always make a perception roll also. But audience said that he couldn't see anything.
Oh,
But you can make one. You know he doesn't have the best perception.
I mean, might as well.
There's a way
I'm
we
gonna
could
pull
change
out
this,
some
but I don't want
paper.
to use it.
13.
And in addition to actually trying to track it, Fisher's going to try tracking it
Okay. So Jorg,
as we move through.
Jorg, what did you say?
Jorg got a 13.
13. All right.
Just
Yes.
oh, sorry, continue.
Well, I was gonna say no, Jorg. Like I said, you do find a few pieces of wood, which might have been things that miners would have written something on, but it's been completely washed off. You can't read anything from it. You need some sort of spell that can restore something to its original state to be able to read this. Otherwise, there's nothing you can do.
If only.
I don't know mending.
Me neither. Prepare mending.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to the first big room because I think that's the correct thing to do. And no one's given me another opinion.
Well, Remy was trying to say something.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. Remy is going to say, in audience's voice, like echoing, big room.
Okay. So you agree.
But I think like as Remy is going to be like traveling with the group, he's going to be keeping a close eye on the floors.
Okay.
This time I will tell Toby to mark it with a blue when we go right towards the big room.
Okay.
Just to make sure we have it.
All right.
All right, so we'll head back to the first big room, basically.
So, turning right, blue. So, you turn right. After a few minutes, you cross T intersection where it goes right and forward, and you do find Tobiashi's first red ball on your right. So, keep on going forward. And after another 5 minutes from that point, you find yourself in the first large room that you encountered.
Okay, because I was a little distracted at the very beginning.
Okay.
Before I started taking more detailed notes of directions. From literally the start, can you...
From the archway, you can go
Yeah.
left or you can go right. You just went right, and after a minute or so, you don't have a choice. You have to turn left. And after another minute or so, you are faced with a choice, going forward or going right. There is already a red mark on your choice to go right. So you can keep on going forward for another 2 minutes. Then you do not have a choice. You have to turn right. You move on for about 5 minutes, and then you are forced to turn left. And after 2 minutes, you find yourself in the large room.
And
And in the large room,
we
you
went
can go.
straight. We went straight out of the large room the first time.
So red ball it.
I wouldn't red ball it. I would mark blue that we went that way because we don't know if it's wrong yet.
Okay.
We're only doing red
Like
for dead
it-
ends right now.
Yeah,
All right. Blue
and
ball.
it didn't lead to a dead end.
I am gonna have us go left though. I think out of the first big room because I want to see.
Okay.
Because that was kind of the way I didn't try going, and I want to see if left is going to send us into like a different place. Because I don't know if the exit's going to be from the first room or the second big room. We might have to go to the second big room before the exit, but route starts. But
Alright.
I'm going to check at least
So
the
we first
options
went.
kind of.
So,
The first time, did we go straight or did we go right?
First time we went straight. So
We
now
went
we've gone straight and left.
all right.
And there's just right.
Yeah. You go straight out of this room, and then after...
No, we go left.
I do-
We go left.
Yeah. After 2
Right.
minutes, you find yourself going to your left. It takes a little while going to this corridor, but you walk for a good 3 minutes, maybe 4, until you have to turn to your left. Then you keep going for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then you are forced to turn right. Then you keep on going for 6 minutes, maybe 7, until you find yourself in front of a cross intersection. Funny thing, on the left there is a blue ball.
So we've already gone this way. So we skipped some stuff.
Or
On the
Oh,
left,
there's
there's a blue ball.
Yes.
routes to this same spot.
Oh, I'm sure there are multiple routes. It's a dwarven
Yeah.
tunnel, but I just want to. I don't know. So we don't know exactly which intersection this is, but we know we've gone. We've already gone. So I am going to check the other way just to see if it's a dead end.
All right.
So we'll go. So we'll go right, and I'm going to have us mark it. Can we mark it? If you mix red and blue, can it be purple?
It'll work. It'll work.
Yeah, I could.
Okay, I'm gonna have us mark this one purple because we know it's different, but we don't know. This is basically our second. Yes, we should mark. Do you have a third color of ball or no?
I could make yellow.
Let's make yellow then. That's gonna be easier. Because basically we're gonna go. This is basically attempt number 2 is gonna be yellow. Attempt number
Right.
1 was blue. Red means dead end. Attempt number 2 is basically yellow.
Yeah. So
We'll
coming
have
the direction we came from, the blue was on our left.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, blue is on our left.
So-
So we're gonna try now the yellow, going to our right for attempt number 2.
Okay. Well, this feels very familiar. It's a very long passageway, and you go to your right for about 2 minutes, then you're forced. Remy keeps sending me messages. So you go to your left. You have to. You go to your right. After 2 minutes, you're forced to turn right again. Maybe 5 or 6 minutes later, you're forced to turn left. 2 or 3 minutes later, you're forced to turn left again. And then you have to keep on moving for 6 or 7 minutes, and then you find yourself in front of a very long hallway that is to your right. And when you finish that long hallway, which takes you nearly 10 minutes, you find yourself in a very small room, similar to the smaller room that you've seen so far. You can go straight
The same or similar though?
from where you are. It feels very similar, and you can go up, you can go to the right, but just outside of the entrance of that room, you see a red mark on the door that is in front of you.
So forward is not the right way.
So far,
Okay.
you've only
Wait.
placed 2 red balls in the entire maze. So this should
Yeah.
tell you where you are,
Yeah,
if you remember.
I'm kind of waiting for Fisher to tell me where I am.
Um,
Fisher, how far was the? Are we past the second large room or not past the second large room at this point?
If we're in the arch room, that would have been if we had left the second large room via the right, gone straight, right, straight.
So we shortcutted.
That would have,
So this way was faster, correct?
yeah.
This way was faster. Okay, good to know.
And then so there's the red door, the dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Left goes to another intersection, and that intersection we went straight at and was really windy.
Which is, I think,
and
when we started
led
to
to
make
another
the
one,
circle.
and we took a right, and it was right at the door.
Yeah. So
So-
I think we're probably about halfway through right now, right?
Yeah, we're about to. If we go left, it's a pretty long, windy tunnel, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then
And we
we
don't want to make the
went
circle.
straight, and it was even another long, windy one.
Okay. So
That brought
we
us
should
back.
try the route we haven't taken yet right now, I think.
Well,
Is it
well, in the room
just
you are right
2?
now. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
you can only go forward or to the right. And if
And
this is the room that you think this is, the first time you came from the right of where
we
you are
came
right now.
from the right.
The
we
first time.
came from the right.
If it's the same room that you think it is.
Okay, so we want to go forward then? I'm
And then
confused.
That'd be dead
how many
Now I'm
entrances
confused.
to this room are there?
I need like a visual here.
I tried to make one, and then I
Okay, so my only
get
question
distracted making it and miss instructions.
no, that's
and
fine. That's fine. What
Oh,
I'm
that's
trying to get
amazing.
is the first time we came through this, we came from the right.
Fisher, you
Did we
think
come
so?
from? We came from the right.
Well, yeah. Okay, so how many doors are in this room?
3.
3.
The one we came through, and then the two
And-
ones that we can go through.
Yeah.
One with an
and
X.
so where is the red mark?
Is the one in front of us.
Yeah, right now. And remember, when you're moving through a maze, I'm telling you the direction according to your point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one in front of us is marked red, and
Yes.
the third door is on our.
Right.
All right. Okay, so there's no other way to go. Essentially, we are currently at one door.
So
There are 2 other doors in this room. One is marked red, which means it's a dead end. The other is the direction we originally came from, meaning this is the door we just came back through the direction we originally went through.
how about we do this? Since you seem very confused, we're gonna give our viewers a few minutes to go to the bathroom, and you can keep talking about this during the break.
I have a way we can get to this very easy, but I don't want to waste it on this.
All right.
That's
well,
supposed to mean.
we're.
My scroll.
Oh, I'd have to think about this. If you want to use this there, I'd have to think about this. All right. So, like I said, we're going to give you all 15 minutes to go to the bathroom, stop laughing at the players, and we're going to be back inside the maze in not so long. So, see you all again in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello and welcome back. I hope you had a pleasant break. That if you're not already following, that you followed us or subscribed to us. And we go back in. I'm gonna stop the campfire because we're back. And don't worry, audience is fine. He's gonna survive, or at least we hope so. So and for your answer, Tobiashi, it feels like your scroll is an incredibly powerful object.
That's what I was saying. I don't really want to use it here.
There's a chance that it might give you the maze. But there is a risk that it is too, from your point of view, that it's too recent history.
Mm-hmm.
From Tobiashi's point of view, where you are in the future, it's old enough that it works. But from your point of view now, because you're inside the dream and you're having difficulty separating the two of them, you think that these cave might not be old enough to be an answer that the scroll can give you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you guys keep telling me where to mark, because it's going to be a long day.
You made me straight on the shoot what you wanted.
Audience, we were afraid that you went running right into a wall.
No. I had to get some water because
Okay.
I have to
Get the caffeine out a bit. All right. So, all right. So you find yourself in a room where you can go up to your right or back the way you came from, upward. You see right in the corridor a red mark left by Tobiashi.
Yeah. All right, and we figured out we're going right. I think.
Okay.
All right, so we.
So I mark this here.
Then we're gonna mark yellow. because it's still our second round.
We don't have.
Even though we know we're going back.
We have red and blue.
No, we also have yellow. Toby can create yellow. We've been marking yellow on the second round.
Yeah,
What?
The object can make red, blue, and yellow balls, meaning that
But I have to split up.
meaning that
how
with
many I
enough
have now.
creativity, you can make any color.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So in total, you get. Okay. So you enter the room. The door that is on your right when you enter. It really only takes a few moments before you are forced to turn to your right. And then you go down. But you keep going to your right for about 5 minutes. And then you find yourself at a T intersection. There is right in front of you. There is to your left. And you notice on the wall, just as you arrive at this intersection, that the path that you are coming from has a blue mark on it.
Yep. Which is what we said. So we have the 3 other routes to look at. So
you have now, you can choose between going to your left or straight forward.
And it should be left, if I'm calculating this right. I think. Or left should be, I think, the best option, because straight... Yeah. I think we want to go left. I'm not guaranteed it's left, but I think we want to go left. If anyone thinks otherwise, they should say now, before I take
All
the
right.
party left.
All right. So say again. So we are coming from the blue.
You're coming from the blue
And we have a path in front of us and to our what?
to your left, from your point of view.
To our left. So it's either straight ahead of us or to our left.
Yes.
If we go straight, we should end up at the second
You'll want to go
room.
straight because if I'm remembering your pattern correctly, audience, you said you would go right whenever possible or straight whenever that wasn't possible.
Yes. I
So
went
if
straight
you
and
want, if you're
right,
looking
that's
for a
what it was.
new path, then it would be straight.
Okay, but we
Isn't-
haven't gone left yet. We haven't tried either of those.
Well, no, the idea is that because we've been to this T intersection before.
Yes, and I
So
went
if we
straight.
take
Yeah.
this T intersection and we marked that path to our right, blue, the blue that
No, the
we are
path we're
coming
on is
from.
blue.
No, the one we're coming from was blue.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We marked it blue when we went through there originally, so that
Yes,
means
I
we
know.
turned right to go through that path. Am I
No, we
incorrect?
went straight. We went
No,
straight to
we
go through
went
that
straight
path.
through
We
it.
went straight to go through that path because there are 4. Every time there was 4, we went straight.
They're not
Okay,
4.
I
It's
was-
3. It's
I asked if this was a T intersection.
It's a
or
T
an
intersection. You can.
Oh, it's a T?
Yes, you can either go to your left or straight forward from your point of view.
Oh, okay, then yes, it would have been right.
So I will re-emphasize what I said. When we arrived at this T intersection originally, we went right. Since we are
That is
coming
true.
back from the right path, we want to go the other way.
No, that is correct. I thought it was a 4-way intersection. I was confused. Okay. That makes more sense. It's a
So
T
we can go
intersection. We want to go straight
where
ahead.
we're currently
What Remy
facing. We
said.
can go straight or left.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
want to go straight ahead because I would have turned right the way before.
On my previous notes, where we currently are going, before getting to the arch room that we just left, in my notes I have we went straight, it went for like 5 minutes, turned left, and that was the arch room. Which is meaning if we go straight here, meaning we would have come straight through this intersection, not off the T. But I might have that wrong because, like I said, I was.
I think
Taking notes.
Remy's logic right now, Fisher, makes a little more sense. I think you're getting a little confused with
Well, we
because
came
he's right.
from.
That was shame.
If you're wanting to go the direction we haven't gone, correct?
Yes.
That's the turn.
No,
we
because
went
I turned
straight
right
when we
here.
first hit this intersection, we couldn't
Yes.
take a right because there's no right. There's a straight and a left when we originally got here. We went straight, marked it blue.
Tobiashi,
No, we went right. We went right, marked it blue.
Tobiashi and
There's no
Remy,
right turn.
you're starting to hear soldiers, and probably you also wondering a little bit, talking about the odd situation where audience is arguing with the machine about where to go.
Oh, I thought this was out of game. I would have been doing this.
Yeah. Correct me
I
if
would
I'm
not-
wrong. We're standing at this T intersection.
Yes.
Coming from the arch room. There is straight and there is right.
From your point of view, you have straight
Yes.
and you have left.
Okay, that's my bad.
That's what
I thought it was straight and right, and that's why.
We can't spend 10 minutes at every intersection, guys. Come on. We're gonna go straight.
Straight and right.
Anyways, let's be consistent. Tobiashi, please put a yellow.
Yeah.
Yep, yellow.
This is what we did in the fucking forest, and it took us 4 sessions. Not do this again.
Yes, please don't do this again.
And this maze is not nearly as complicated.
No, it's not.
Go straight. We should be able to figure it out on this time. We
That's
needed
why I
like one
wanted to
time for
just-
information, and we should be able to figure it out on this time.
Make it.
Alright, we're going straight.
All
That's
right.
why I wanted to in character draw it out instead of out of character draw it out because I know I'm gonna mess it up.
I'm also way too wired right now to spend so much time in a maze.
Yeah, that was not a good session for the.
So, you keep on going forward. So you keep going forward for about 3 minutes, then you are forced to turn to your left. And keep on going for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then you find yourself in front of an archway. The odd thing is that it leads into a large square room, and on the wall, entering this place, you see a blue ball. When you enter this large room, it feels like the second large dormitory.
Large room.
Yeah.
Which that should be correct because we left straight. Which is okay. So
How large?
and this
are
way
these
we
rooms?
had either right or left to go because there was a way right and there was a way left.
The
we can
large,
either go
the
right or
large
left.
dormitory always have so far 4 ways in.
Yeah.
So right now you can go forward, right, or left.
And forward takes us back, and we know that because every time I entered a large room, we went straight.
So to answer Fisher, these rooms are it takes you easily two minutes and a half to go from one side to the other. It's a large room. It's really meant to be a dormitory mixed with a canteen. Cantina. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to say. Canteen or cantina.
Aaron, I swear to God.
Okay. So I'm gonna have Toby go, and we should mark the way straight from here with another blue, because we knew that was the first route we took was coming through this way and going straight.
Oh,
So
you didn't
the
have
one
to
on
do
the
that.
other side of the room should also be marked blue.
Okay.
So where's
Okay.
from the door we just entered from? Where's the blue marker that was already here? Is it
Should be right in
straight?
front of us.
It's just before the archway. So
Okay.
technically, it's the first thing you put when you enter.
We're entering the room from the other side. We're entering the second room from the other side. We took a different route. We basically took so basically by going the other way, we took the opposite route to come at this second room the other side. And now we have either right or left to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you've basically confirmed the large circle that you've done the first time.
Yeah.
People are not finding this reassuring.
I mean, I don't know why. We couldn't have done anything else. This is where we needed to get to start changing, which is what I said before we entered this room was we need to get to the second room, and then that's where we messed up.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
a lot of people aren't reassured that you spent the last hour confirming the circle you did the first time.
Well, we had to do the circle again. We didn't have a whatever. Okay. They're stupid.
Right or
I
left?
don't care about them. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna. So we have right or left, and we can try either way, because either way is gonna take us somewhere different.
Maybe.
No, well, I mean, okay, we're just gonna. I'm gonna go right. We're gonna go right. We're gonna try right for a second time.
All right,
So we're gonna mark the right. So I'm gonna have Toby go and mark blue on the door across the way, and I'm gonna mark the door to the right with the yellow because this is our second attempt, and we're gonna go right.
all right. So
Which from the first time, if anyone's wondering, would have been left
okay,
because we're coming from the opposite way.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, so you enter that room and exit it. Go to the path that is currently on your right, and immediately as you come out, you are forced to go on your left, and it takes a little bit of time before you reach the end of the hallway. But it's a long, straight hallway that lasts for 9, maybe 10 minutes, and you find yourself in a small room with only two way out of this room. The one that you just came out of, and one that is to your right.
Well, obviously we're gonna go right because that's our only option.
Okay.
By the way, as we've been walking through this area,
Yes.
not that they necessarily would have been particularly survivable, but does there seem to be like any evidence of lighting ways? Since humans probably would have been using light to guide themselves through these mines, but not dwarves. I'm only asking just in case like those things might have survived,
Like old
or like any
sconces
evidence
or
that there
something.
might have been posts or what have you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely something. Yes, there would have been. Yeah, definitely. There are places where it feels like just taking the moment of figuring out mines in Dungeons and Dragons settings.
A night challenge possible?
Yeah, no, definitely. There are a few places where you can light up what feels like lamp, probably
Lamb.
oil lamp, stuck to the walls. In rooms, you definitely have something which feels like a large glass ball, which would make a very interesting ambience for a room if you light it up using a light spell.
I didn't think of lighting with spells. Or I mean, like industrially.
Well, it's a cantrip, and priests are more common than sorcerers. So, sorcerers and wizards. So, a mine, there's usually injured, so you'd also get medic in there. So, most likely priest.
Mm.
In rooms
Only
like
funny
this.
thing is, I think all three of those classes know the light cantrip. But
Oh no, I know. I just mean there are more priests than wizards and sorcerers. That's all I meant. So yeah, places where there once were probably oil lantern, and in large room these glass orb or pieces of a once glass orb.
And mine fires were pretty dangerous, so using light in a mine would be a good idea. Anyways.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know where we.
No,
Well,
I was just
I-
interested in the
I was just seeing if like because like honestly like I think Raimi at this point is going to be keeping an eye in case like because like especially if we were seeing evidence of these things like in the hallways, like maybe even like trying to keep an eye out for where these things are noticeably absent. But until then, we'll keep going as we were.
Okay. So, you go right at the end of this?
Yep, because that's the only way we can go unless we want to go back.
So, for reference to the size of the room, it does take 2 or 3 minutes to get to
Wait,
the
should
other
I mark
side.
this?
Yeah. What color?
Guys? Yeah, what color should I mark
Technically.
this?
Yellow, right? Because we're on our second round
Yellow.
still.
Okay, yellow.
Okay.
And we don't see any other balls, so we should still be marking yellow for our second attempt. Because at most, this should take us 3 attempts. Because we should be able to go,
All right.
depending on, unless we fuck up.
So,
3 at most. Hopefully we can do it in 2, though.
it takes roughly 8 or 9 minutes going through this long hallway until it forces you to turn right, from your point of view, of course. And then after 2 minutes, you find yourself at a cross intersection.
And are there no balls in this cross intersection?
No. But
Oh, okay,
remember,
so we are in smart.
you have a hole in the balls that you were placing in your previous attempt.
We did?
Yeah. After you left the first room, you didn't mention to Tobiyashi to place balls until you had made another 3 decisions. So there is a
Oh.
gap.
Well, that's gonna
From
fuck
the
us.
first room?
Yes.
That might fuck us, but. Okay.
Okay, guys,
well then-
Is that
I'm gonna-
counting the decision in the room?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna help solve this a little bit. Well, not solve it, but put a band-aid on this just in case. Raimi is going to pull out one of his throwing daggers, and he's just going to gently place it at the entryway where they just came out from.
Okay. So another
Here.
color. Let's go.
Raimi, you actually use those. I'll pull an arrow out of my quiver instead.
Fair enough.
All right, Raimi is going to turn it slightly 30 degrees from whatever you put it on the ground.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. So
Fisher is distracted staring at a notebook.
okay, so we're coming back. We don't know which way. We haven't tested any of these ways. So at this point, it's just kind of a guess. But I don't want to go straight ahead because I feel like there's a decent chance if this was the one that we missed from the first room, it would have been the straight ahead one, right? Because if it was the first room, I went straight on this one. So straight would be back to the first room. So I want to not go straight. So we're gonna go left here.
Okay. And you mark that corridor with
The yellow.
yellow?
Yellow.
Yeah.
All right. So you start this one and you go on for 2 minutes before you are forced to turn to your left. Then it goes on for another 4 or 5 minutes. And then this is where it starts feeling very familiar because it goes on and on and on. You go on for 4 minutes, then nearly 15 minutes after turning to your left, and then you're forced to turn to your left again, and another left after another 10 minutes, and this feels very familiar to the long hallway that nearly took you half an hour to make. And
Okay.
I'm sorry. So it was we took the left at the intersection,
We took a left at the intersection.
and it's 2 minutes, and then a left.
then a left, then 5 minutes, then another left, and then nearly 15 minutes, then another left, then another 10 minutes, then a left, and then you find yourself at a T intersection, and the hallway right in front of you has a blue ball on it.
Yeah.
This is when you started reminding Tobiyashi to mark every single movement you make.
Okay. So we have to mark this one with the yellow now. The entrance
So it
to
was-
this one with the yellow. We have to mark where we enter with the yellow. Which is fine. We're just it's
It
'cause we
was-
fucked up.
15, a left, and then 10.
Yeah.
I just need to know, as we're arriving to this T intersection, where did you say the blue ball was? Or the blue mark was?
Straightforward.
Straightforward.
Is that
Okay.
a T intersection?
Yes,
yeah,
you have
so this
a
is where I would
choice.
have made it. This is where I would have made a right. This is where I would have made a right.
This you have a choice to go to your from your perspective to your right or straightforward, and straightforward has a blue mark on the wall.
All right, no matter what,
That's a
we're
blue
making
mark on the wall.
right. No matter what, we're treading previous ground.
Yes.
Can we?
No,
Can we
there's
go?
there's no mark to your right.
There's no
Yeah.
mark.
Well, no, it's like
We
the
can
thing
go
is,
right.
like, if we came here during the first attempt, we would have gone right first. So if there's a blue mark straight ahead of us, that means that we have gone down that path before, but just from the other direction.
Okay.
That is more what I'm talking
Can
about.
we go straight following the blue mark just to test something for me?
Okay.
Yeah. If you suggest that to
if
me,
it takes
quietly,
more than 3 minutes, we're turning around.
Okay. If it takes more than 3 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I need to test the theory real quick, and we'll go down the blue path for at least 3 minutes.
Okay. 2.5, 3
We hit-
minutes later, you find yourself at a T intersection, going right or left.
A T intersection.
And there is a blue mark on, from your point of view, to the right.
Not a big room.
No.
Okay.
I'll look at Fisher. What the-
Map is wrong.
Your map is wrong.
Yes.
Well.
But
Okay.
I've been
So should we
mapping
turn?
since we
So should
most
I
recently hit
turn?
that
Should I
part.
turn around, or should I go down one of these paths?
Um,
We'll mark this with the yellow, by the way, Toby.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we can go back and take the way we didn't take earlier if you want. But none of my
Alright.
input matters anymore because my map is wrong.
Okay. We'll go back. I'm gonna go back the way we came and take the route we didn't take.
My map is starting to look like a Christmas tree. So all it's missing is green. All right, so you go up. So from your perspective, it is to the left. So you mark this yellow again.
Well, we're just turning. We're just turning around.
You're just
We're
turning. around.
turning around. Yeah, we're turning around and going back to the other than taking. We're going back 3 minutes and then taking the route we hadn't taken.
Back in time. Okay.
Because this was just to test to see if Fisher's map was right, and it's not. So
Oh,
All right. So you decide to go to the way that you have not gone yet.
Yeah.
Meaning.
but it was only 3. So it wasn't that
So-
much.
You go on for about 2 minutes, and then suddenly you are forced to turn to your right, and you go on for about 3 minutes, maybe 4.
By the way, just so I could state this, we did mark this way, the new way we went with the yellow,
Okay.
the way we hadn't gone with the
Yeah.
yellow.
Okay.
Just so that's
And
clear. So we're on the same.
So after 3 minutes, you find yourself at a T intersection. No mark, nowhere. You can go right.
No mark nowhere.
You can go right. You can go left.
Okay, so we haven't been here yet. That's good, at least.
Is their elevation change in these tunnels?
Would that be a survival roll to tell?
Yeah, if you succeeded the survival roll, I will definitely have to tell you.
Alright, I'll roll a survival roll. That's another nat 20. We're all nat 20s today.
Good lord.
Let's go.
You just see audience going straight forward and bending his knee a bit, and feels like there's
Audience really wants out of this maze.
feels like there's a slight slope. It is very slight. It is not a strong slope, but the mind does say that it's going down the plateau
Okay.
to the valley. So yes, there is a small slope.
Who has ball bearings?
Because I rolled so high, can I be able to tell slope for the next like 10 minutes at least?
That's what I wanted the ball bearing for. Does anybody have
I
ball
rolled a nat
bearings?
20.
I do not.
I
At
have
least give me like a time that I can like at least tell slope for a little bit.
Or no,
Rami, do you have ball
Rami-
bearings?
pours his water out, and then that'll work.
That would work actually, technically, because water would run.
Yeah.
I want to ask the DM a question.
Yes. Yes.
Given the kind of terrain that we've been walking on, would ball bearings even roll?
Um.
Water.
I'm guessing.
Or should I? Or I'm gonna ask more. I'm gonna ask more concretely. Would they roll in response to slope, or would they roll just because there was movement? Because like 45 odd people are trucking around.
I'd say all three answer. The third one being, it's not an even ground. It's human mine, not dwarven mines. So the ground is not even. There is a risk that the marble would pool in certain areas.
And then similarly, if I just started pouring water, it might not necessarily move downward. It might just, if we, for example, happen to be like on an uneven hill-like part, it would just.
The difference,
Or we might.
The difference with water is that you have an unlimited amount.
Yeah.
Ball
that's what I was
bearings
thinking. With
will
enough,
pool at one
eventually you
point.
see us.
And if you run out, you're stuck. You have to take them out and throw them again and start again. Water will just fill the hole and starts moving again.
I just hope we don't submerge a tunnel we'll have to go through later.
This actually
Think my
reminds me of
bouncy ball
another
would work?
DM that told me a story about how a party just like drowned a mine just with a decanter of endless water, just like stayed there at the entrance until it filled.
It wasn't
I mean,
me,
it's
but I feel like it's something one of my parties would have done.
You come to like the dungeon's lair that you know is filled with bandits. You're just like, yeah, no, I just drown them. I don't even know it.
So-
drown everything.
It takes so long.
What?
So-
They'd also technically all come rushing to the entrance, and you'd still have to fight them. But
Yeah.
whatever.
You're like, what's this water?
All right,
Also,
so what are
any
you
of them had
doing?
any thought- All right, we're okay. So if we haven't gone either way, I guess we'll try right first. We'll go back to
I
the
would also
first
put my
one.
money on right,
Ooh.
because if we did come this way because we didn't mark anything, then at the very least we're going someplace that's guaranteed to be new.
Yeah. So we'll mark right with yellow.
Marking right.
Mark it, Toby.
Yellow.
We're running out of balls here.
Or no.
That feels so weird.
I'm
saying
hoping
this.
this maze ends soon.
Well, it all depends on you.
Toby's getting claustrophobic.
So, you go right. It just takes a single minute before you find yourself in a T intersection again. It going to your left or straight forward.
We haven't got, but we don't know.
No mark,
There are no
nowhere.
marks. There are no marks. Okay, that's good, I guess. Should we try forward? Should I go back to the original formula, or should I try going left? The first time
Uh,
the original formula took us in a circle, but this one might not.
So
I mean, we haven't really been. We've kind of been going back and forth on a formula since the second one, so really it doesn't matter for the second attempt.
So
That's fair.
do you want hope, or do you want to keep going like blind like this?
I mean, hope's fine. We're nowhere at least
Alright.
in a new area.
Yeah, I just want to give hope to the players. If you do not make a mistake from here till the end of this labyrinth, from your character's point of view, you're out in 30 minutes. From your character's point of view, not the players. If you make a mistake, who knows?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's unfortunate.
Well, to be fair, it's 50.
Supposedly,
50,
It's
50.
a 4 top lane. We really do nothing off of that.
yeah, looking at stuff I'm drawing, because
Like, come on.
so if I'm wrong here, it
They can't
means
keep sending their entire team
our
top.
interpretations
Like,
of
really-
turns and stuff is different. But
Mhm.
if we go
I will go
straight
with-
here, that
I'll
means
go with
we're
Audi's
going.
suggestion of straight.
If there's a down
Yeah,
slope,
I'll die.
if we
That's
go
what we
straight
got
here,
off
it means
of
we're gonna
the
go
top.
under the
Um,
long ass tunnel.
League of Legends.
All right. So you said straightforward.
Okay, we're gonna go straight. Toby, how many balls do we have left?
Yeah, murder.
We have less blue balls than we have yellow balls. We have way more red balls. I would
know.
say we are like
Thank you, Sir Rocker, for
3 to
telling me.
4 blue balls. We have 5 to 6 yellow balls and
How many balls in total? 30? That you can produce?
25.
You can produce 25.
Yeah,
You only have red balls left.
yeah.
You only have 4 balls left.
We only have red balls left? Fuck. Okay. Someone
If you
needs to start writing yellow. Someone needs to start writing yellow and, like, write that so we know that this way is still our second yellow attempt.
Can we use like a spent torch to?
We're not
Fisher
going to know
writes
torch. I want to write
yellow
something so we specifically know it's
on a
yellow.
piece of paper and drops it on the ground.
No. We use the spent torch to write
I know.
Oh, yellow and
with
charcoal?
like the charcoal. Yeah.
Bad.
This is how
But-
it took 4 sessions to get out of a magic labyrinth.
Yeah, okay. We're writing in yellow. We draw paper, we do
There's-
charcoal, we do
There's got to
both.
be something we're missing.
No, we're not missing
There's-
anything. We're going
No,
the right
guys,
way.
guys, let's not go back to Forest Maze logic here.
Yeah, we're not
This
missing
is,
anything.
This is actually
This
the
is
most
very
straightforward
simple.
maze we're ever going to get.
Oh, yes.
Very
All right,
simple.
let's go forward. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
go.
going forward, and we're writing on paper and in charcoal yellow. We got lots of yellows.
Okay.
Yellows everywhere. We can't miss that we wrote yellow.
Okay, so
We're saying we did it.
you go forward for another 3 minutes until you find
Okay.
yourself in a small room. You do not recognize it. However, you do notice that there are quite larger amount of spider webs. Again, it feels like this place has been abandoned by the spiders. But it might have been one of the last place where they lived. You've never been in this one before. You have a choice between going straight forward or to your left.
Okay.
How big is this room?
Yeah.
It's like the smaller rooms, where probably a place where storage room
If
for
I'm
equipment.
Trying to draw a map where on graph paper where one box is a minute. How many boxes is this room?
It's,
Or is it no
so
boxes?
complicated.
It's 3 square by 2 squares.
I think he meant in time. Like, how many minutes
But
did
yeah.
it take to run?
No, he knows what.
Oh, okay. I got it. All right, we're gonna go straight and do the same thing with yellow and charcoal, and just assume that we're doing that for every room moving forward on the second round. So I don't have to say it every time.
Oh, I want imagine so
Stay, by
much
the
the
way.
next person who's gonna go through that maze, seeing
It's
all
on
of
this.
those blue, yellow, and red dots, and
Eventually,
red
just turns to yellow.
Well, not that
red.
many red. Not that many red. But
All right,
we haven't came
so
across too many dead ends.
no. So you go forward, and you after 3 minutes you are forced to turn to your left, and then after another 3 minutes you find yourself in a dead end.
Alright, cool. So we can go back, erase, grab up all the yellow and charcoal and put a red there. Let's go back, do that, and then we're going the other way.
Well, the thing is, we actually have red balls, so we can literally just pick up that piece of
that's
paper
what
and
I'm
move it to
saying.
the
We
new one.
can. That's what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
can just take up we just pick up the paper, move it to the other one, place a red ball there.
Okay, so you go back to the room and you go to to the other door, which now is to your right from your perspective. You go up for about a minute and a half, and you find yourself at a T intersection. You have a choice between going right or left.
And nothing.
No
We see
balls,
nothing.
nowhere. No colors.
Okay, so we haven't. Okay, we'll go right then, because we're gonna keep with the formula.
All right.
So,
You go right, and
but yellows, charcoals.
you go right. So this is. And you go right for about 2 or 3 minutes until you are forced
completely
to
right
turn
there,
to
right?
your left. And after
I'm
3
no
minutes,
uptrain, no stop,
you
no
find
support,
yourself
and
in
why are we trying to
front
fight?
of an archway
Even if I show up there, we still get our ass.
in a very hopeful voice.
I feel like a
Audience, you probably let out a sigh of relief as the room that is in front of you is very, very dwarven in appearance.
Okay, Fisher, throw away your paper if we're done.
Let's go!
Yep.
We got through that.
Nice.
We did it.
I think the reason it's all fucked up is the room size.
All right.
That's where I messed up.
I'll turn to the party finals. I'll be like, you see, we made our way. We're in the dwarven section now.
So
You just have faith.
for my players, if you want to
Dear God, yes, please.
if you want to know what it looked like after the stream, I'm giving you the map of this place and where every single ball you asked me to put is right now. You start at the bottom. There is an archway leading outside. And it-
So I have some life steal.
So that is the maze that you got, and
Oh, look at us. We did really well on the second one. It was just the first one we fucked up.
Okay.
The second one. we
in
did well.
grand total, you were in there.
About 3 hours? No, 3.5, right?
Oh no.
Wait, we could have just followed the right wall like I was thinking.
Uh,
They're gonna
stupid
fail.
calculator doesn't.
Oh, that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, hand on the right wall would have worked.
That's what I was
Literally the
thinking
fastest
the whole-
route.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking the whole time, but I was
Just
like,
I was trying to go. Honestly, I thought early on I was going right because I was like, that's probably going to be it. And then I fucked up by going straight.
yeah,
Should
to
have just kept going
to
right.
the-
If I just kept going right, I would have been fine. On the first attempt.
Well, yeah. At
You're
one
right,
point, you
damn.
started going straight forward instead of.
Yeah, in the first
No.
room, you went straight instead of right.
All
If I
right.
just
Yeah,
kept,
this
if I
is-
just stuck with my original formula of just going right, we would have made it out in like first
Yeah,
try.
this is kind of like why during the break I was just like, well, we kind of already have system now. It's kind of too late to change it. But yes,
Yeah.
essentially the easiest way to solve any maze eventually, emphasis on eventually because it's not necessarily always the fastest, is literally just keep going the same direction at every interval until
So-
it no longer works.
You finally get out of this place. You see people getting tired, and this is when it catches up to you a little bit. Oh
I
wow!
shouldn't have gone back in.
Yeah, you're starting to feel that empty
Perilous.
space in your stomach. You've been in here for at least 4 hours, at the very least.
Dude, how did no one
Well,
do anything?
that's
I
how the
thought
story
the
went,
pictures are
so-
fucking evil.
Yeah.
Remember-
We're still following the story.
Remember when I said, let's go
Oh, Ours should be
straight,
opposite.
Yeah.
and
Let's not
if we
dwell on
don't,
that.
Do you want to know how
I'm
fast?
seeing
Do you know
where we were.
Do you want to know
was
how
very
quick
close.
the shortest route is?
What's the shortest route?
An hour and a quarter.
Probably guys before.
I mean, I still don't think we took 2 attempts. We basically took 2 attempts to get through it.
So,
It's not that bad.
oh yeah, and don't worry, we're gonna talk about this after the session is over. If you want to talk about Labyrinth, we're not gonna force our viewers to look at us argue about a Labyrinth.
Without our
So,
Let's go.
300 CS8 kill Tryndamere. That sounds like a good
All right, well we're out.
all right.
Well, we're
Does
in,
our
but-
soldiers need a short rest before we keep going?
When you turn around and say, "So, would anyone like a rest?" you immediately hear people dropping their equipment on the ground. Some people letting out a sigh of relief. God, yes, thank you so much.
All right.
A lot of
I guess
a
we're
lot of
taking a short rest.
a lot of soldiers crossing your path look at you and say, "Well, you know, I had my doubts, especially on the last hour or so, but yeah, no, okay." Some of them are just saying, "Never doubted you, never doubted you." And then they get elbowed. And, come on, no, I didn't doubt him.
I mean, I
Oh,
did
I
roll a
see.
nat 20. I did roll a nat 20 on basically confidence, so probably some of
Oh,
them didn't doubt me.
that's the only reason why it went so high up and then it started going down again. But you managed to push their confidence high enough that I didn't start rolling after the 3rd hour. But after the 3rd hour, people started doubting you.
I was
Oh,
like,
hey,
oh
DM.
no, yeah. The
Yes.
human section was kind of confusing, but once we got to the dwarven section, you know, I know dwarven mind, so we're fine. It's just the humans, unfortunately, don't know how to make good mind plans. That was confusing to me. That's what I'll tell the soldiers.
All
Okay.
right, George, time to make some more
Make a
soup.
persuasion roll. While you do that, Remy, you're about to say something?
It's like it is now at this moment where
Get yourself
Rainy
caught
kind of
up
just
for elder.
minor illusions a 2x1 like sets himself in front of like one of the walls and like presents his truffle box.
You immediately have a line of soldier that gets their coins out.
Now he emphasizes that that is basically like and with the 2x1 it's like, you know, 2 for 1.
2 coins, but which coins? Some have silver, some have copper.
Oh, that part doesn't matter. No matter, it's 2 of whatever coin type they give.
Basically, Remy is pocketing one of the coins and making money off this.
Yeah, he's marking up his price 50%. Got it.
Burned everything in his kit. And you guys
That's a pretty
still
good
failed to
margin.
kill him. It's not
Yeah,
awesome.
dude, we go back to the future and then we sell all these super old coins to some rich coin collector dudes.
Exactly.
So,
So it's just that, like, basically, Raimi now knows that there's a high demand for it, and he is
Price went
capitalizing
up.
on it.
okay.
Here I have a like 19. Here I have it's like basically here I have a silver from the time of the Eldritch Wars. If you want to add that to your collection, that'll be like 50 gold pieces.
You missed him.
All right.
All right,
So,
George. Let's try to cook again.
Yep. Yep.
No, we're resting for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes
no,
is long
no,
enough.
it's 45 because of how many soldiers it is and how many to get the truffles. So
Oh yeah.
we have
Alright,
enough time.
I'm not giving you my cooking equipment. You can figure it out without it.
Yeah, we can.
We will. We'll take one of the guys'
So-
helmets and start cooking in it.
God. Without their consent, we're just sneak it.
So, Remy, you get a grand total of 48
Holy shit. this
copper
series
piece
bad.
and 42 silver piece. You have to divide them by 2 because you use 1 to make. So basically, you get 20. You get a net profit of 24 copper piece and 21 silver piece.
and plus a certain amount to the soldier morale.
Well, you definitely pocket some loyalty. When everyone is
Go in,
finished,
Diana. What are you waiting for? Game to be over?
receive the visit of Kalina, who says, "How high can your box take?"
Oh God, no! Don't drug her.
There's no way they don't.
Raimi is going to lie. He is going to produce a minor illusion of a gold coin.
All right.
Because Raimi remembers what the description of what the platinum would do.
Well, can do. It's not a guarantee. Well, very well. She takes out 2 gold coin and gives you the 2 gold coin. You see the 6 guards do not move or react. They just look at her. You can't even see a sign of being resentful to the fact that they're not openly told that they can take one or anything. They have an absolute loyalty and blind loyalty, you'd say, to the noble woman. She takes the truffle and she eats it, and that is very interesting. Very skillful dessert. I must compliment whoever is making them. Well, I'm assuming someone is making them somewhere. Make sure they get all of my best compliments. It is an exquisite one. I have only tasted similar a handful of time in my life.
So Raimi cocks his head. Minor illusions, a question mark.
You're confused about what part?
Repeats in her voice. Like, one other time.
Well, I live in the largest city in the island chain. And I have seen other island chains. I have attended quite a few festivities, which are known throughout the world. So I've seen quality cooks create masterpiece made of rare and delicate ingredient from all over the world.
That was a very casual flex.
Instead of just running back, I can't. Oh my god. I do everything.
You'd be surprised at what a price of 500 platinum will push cooks from all around the world to create.
Shit.
You didn't see anything.
Yo, where's our payout? Where's our payout for this now? She's got 500 platinum to drop on food. Could she pay us for like getting her like back to the castle?
It's not part of the story.
Well, that doesn't mean I can't add it.
Oh, you mean you want to make the story tell a lie by saying that you are a noble adventurer?
Jorg, are you helping me cook? This is the question here.
Yeah, I'm helping you cook. Do you want me to roll my own?
Yeah, roll it. I just rolled it.
Oh, jeez.
I
Is
guess
it
like
int or wisdom?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. It's cooking. It's
Just-
I'm not intelligent about my cooking. I rolled a 13.
okay.
I rolled an 18. Let's go.
Ooh. All right, this is gonna be some good food.
Remy, what were you trying to say?
Rainy responds in, like in an elvish tone, which, if I remember correctly, she is actually the only one that understands. So it roughly translates you. Oh, Noir, don't look down on your crumbs. They're all I have for you.
Can't say that I've heard a lot of elves say that.
I know Elvish.
You're cooking.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not paying attention.
Go back to cooking.
We're trying to get the right ingredients.
You're trying to turn hardtack, dried meat, and dried fruit into a
Into
good
a
meal.
stew. Yeah.
Yeah.
The secret was cinnamon.
So you ask Remy for his soap, which has cinnamon. All right. Well, before going back to her to all the soldiers and the 6 guards, she does turn to you, Remy, and says, "You have lived a very intriguing life. I hope you tell me all about it someday."
Rainy just has a very sad look on his face.
Oh, don't worry. Things are gonna be alright. I am sure of it. I am accompanied by a band of noble travelers, a holy warrior, a cooking monk,
Cooking true.
a follower of nature, and the world's most accurate rogue I've ever seen, which coincidentally also makes among the best dessert I have tasted in my life. What can go wrong?
It's okay, Fisher. I'll try and get your name into the history book somewhere.
And so, Jorg and Tobiyashi, you see them
I was
having
just
fun.
tasting.
My name's in the history books all over the place. Dude, pick up a book about the history of fishing. It's in there like a book.
Every single page.
I came first.
And every time they talk about this, they reference him. You know, Fisher did this, and the Fisher did that. He's a reference worldwide.
That's why there's also fisherman, because it has to specify that it's a man that was doing the job that Fisher invented.
Yeah.
Oh.
I see. You're the creator of fishing. All right.
Yes.
Everything goes back to Fisher.
You know what? I believe it.
Return to fish.
Return to fish. Become fish.
All right, so Jorg and Tobiyashi, you are working with exceedingly bad ingredient. It is dry, and you do not have a lot. You did find a patch of mushroom growing in the hall, in one in the corner, coming out of
Make
some.
a good stew.
So you just added it to them. Jorg looked at them, licked one, and said, "No problem, you can use them." And you managed to
We may
turn
have
this into
minor
a.
hallucinations.
You turned this into, well, you did see purple bubbles at one point, but you managed to turn this into a very decent meal.
Nice. Rehydrated meat and mushrooms
Stew.
stew. Yeah.
And no, the soldiers are actually very thankful of everything you're showing them. Some of them do wish that you served this before they ate their truffle, while the last few ones are very happy because they get their meal and then they get their truffle.
Let's go. I know we
Nice.
can do it.
Yeah. Thanks, Toby.
Yeah, no problem.
So everyone's morale comes back. They're ready to keep on going, keep on fighting. assuring the safety of the noble woman and the kingdom. Well, the sixth guard, it's the noble woman. The soldier, it's the kingdom. Following audience's lead, you easily find your way inside the dwarven mines. It is filled with long corridors going down. You easily see light fixtures which seems to simply light up as you're moving forward. You do see, and they turn off after the last soldier is maybe 50 feet away from them.
Probably. That way.
Thanks to audience, you know exactly where to turn. This
Upward,
way
what's
to
upward?
the dormitory. This way to the great hall. This way to the entrance hall, and finally, after maybe another hour of walking into this massive, abandoned dwarven city, you find yourself walking down a long hallway where you see a little bit of light at the end. It doesn't feel like it's direct light, so there might be another room at the end of this. But you keep going forward, hopeful of this. The guards with a little spring on their step. However, it does feel like the day is reaching an end. You've been at this for maybe 7 hours, including the labyrinth. Then you start arriving at that last archway. You look inside and you see a large entrance, a large hall with column, but feels like it took a little bit of damage as there are some rocks that have fallen in different location. Kalina is near all of you, and as soon as you see this audience, Kalina move forward toward you and said, "See, I told you you'd get us through. It was just a matter of time. And no spooky two-headed monsters. What did I tell you?"
Is there any wood for her to knock on, or are we like...
As soon as that idea crosses your mind, you step through the archway at the end of the corridor, and you see in the middle of a room an odd shape, very large, bent over. Looks like it's eating something big. You can even hear the bones snapping as it tears something off. Feels very
No, it
large.
was guaranteed once she said it.
Feels very large. Odd colors. From your point of view, its back is sort of a gray-green, but there are white dots on it.
Yep.
And as soon as you step near that arch, you hear it go. It rises up, and you recognize the form, as you've seen this in books, the form of a large troll. Long, slender limb, it turns around slowly. But on the front of his body, there are... Remy, are you alright? There are blue dots everywhere on him. And you hear Kalina go, "Well, at least there aren't two heads." And then you see two hands floating in the air, rising up behind him, and a second head detached from him, rising up behind him. All three of them floating around him. And he's looking right at you and your party.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna make you go through a fight 15
come
minutes after. Well, I know audience still has the drive because of what he got, but I'm not sure Jorg, Tobiashi, and Fisher will survive a 45-minute long fight. So,
What do you mean 45 minutes? Have you seen how I've been rolling tonight? I've only rolled nat 20s. That's like 3 divine smite. I just that 20 everyone.
Or you've used up all your net 20s.
Ah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a shame that only one person's damage type matters in this.
Here, I'll
fight.
tell you what. I'll roll once. And see if I roll another nat 20.
Do it.
Did you say it's
I didn't. I rolled a 17.
2 hands and a head, or 3 heads?
It looks
Floating.
like a normal troll, but there is a second pair of hands floating around him and a second head floating, as if limbs had been cut off, but they didn't die off. They just started following him, floating in the air.
That's...
And it still has the normal limbs? Or is it like a torso and then it's
Extreme
got floating
fate of
hands and a
Oh
floating
no!
head?
The main creature looks like a troll. His color pattern is a bit odd. It has two arms, 2 hands, a single head, but following him there's an extra head floating and 2 hands floating. So basically, he has 2 arms, 4 hands, 2 heads, one connected to his body, the other one not connected to his body.
Breath.
All right. So who got fire?
I want to fight it.
You got fire? Is that what we need?
Or
All I got is
acid?
ice.
Well, the question is, do you know you need fire?
Yeah. I was
don't
going
know.
to say.
That would be probably. I don't know what role that would be.
Are
It would be
we-
something for knowledge of the
Ending?
trolls?
Or
Well, you're not going to do the fight, and since he's staring at you, yes, the game is over. The game is over for tonight. Don't worry.
What role would it be though to know how much we know about trolls?
Yeah, did I read it? Would it be history? Because I've read
Nature?
books.
Arcana?
Nature, history, it'd probably be different things for different people.
Yeah, history might work. It's going to be different.
Getting the knowledge from?
Challenge, yeah, but well, it's going to be different.
DC.
Exactly, that's the word I was looking for. Depending on what you use, history would be a higher DC because unless you study the history of trolls, it's not a very popular
I might
subject.
have read a few books.
So let's see. All we have, well, Arcana, because trolls have been used for a lot of potions. So there would be that. History, possibly, but the DC would be higher. Yeah, nature could work.
All right, we all roll a separate one, and let's see if we get it.
All right. All knowledge nature with a nope.
You've heard of
I'll do
them.
history.
Yeah.
I'll do history. Nope.
Ooh.
It's good.
Nature. I guess that's
Ooh,
nature.
that's
with a
worse than I
minus-
roll.
I think
Can I technically roll survival, but with the higher DC?
I think
Nah.
Raimi and I would both be doing Arcana.
I mean, it depends on whether there were trolls in my area, since I lived in a village. near the mountains.
Trolls in your area.
It depends. I don't know where. I don't know.
Trolls in
He
your
knows the
area.
locations. I don't know if there would have been trolls in the mountains where I lived.
Yeah, trolls are not that uncommon throughout the world. Would it be survival? No, I don't think survival
Damn.
would work.
All right. Well, we'll roll nature then. I'll take the -1 hit. Nat 20.
Really?
Easiest nat 20 of my life.
Really? What the
Oh my God.
fuck?
Way to go, audience.
Holy
Listen, I don't want to
shit.
end the session tonight. Okay, all I'm rolling is nat 20s. I can
Good,
only roll.
'cause I
nat
only
20s.
got a 13 Arcana, so.
Apparently, there were trolls near our village. I fought trolls commonly.
Well, you probably went hunting trolls in the mountains with your comrades.
Yeah, it was a game. We would hunt trolls.
Intense.
All right, so yeah, you're probably gonna know a few things about trolls. First thing, they don't come in blue and white dots. Second, trolls are known because of their high regeneration. Mutation are common, meaning if they eat something that has abilities, there is a slight chance that they will absorb that in some way.
So I probably just assumed this is a mutated troll.
A heavily mutated troll.
Yeah, a heavily mutated troll.
Judging.
But do I know the natural troll? What are the natural troll weaknesses again? It's like fire and acid, right?
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
usually your hunting party didn't carry huge vats of acid or threw fireball at them. Usually what they did was just pull it down, got it to the point where it's not reacting anymore, and then start a fire and throw it inside. After detaching a limb or two, through potions and things like that.
Well, I don't know about this troll, but next session maybe I'll tell the party.
This troll is weird, heavily mutated. His color scheme doesn't work, but the color scheme does remind you of another animal. Feel like you've seen this in cave before, or at least heard of them in cave.
What's the animal?
It's on the tip of your tongue. It feels like some sort of spider.
Do you need me to roll another nature check? I'll roll another nat 20.
No, with nature check, his color scheme does remind you of a phased spider, a bit.
A phased spider. How much do I know about phased spiders?
Well, that would be a different roll.
All right.
Oh, great.
Easy.
That's even
nat
worse.
20. Nope, that was a 16. I only rolled a 17.
Okay, well, it's not incredible, but you know a little bit. They can phase shift, essentially. Feels like they teleport, but they actually just phase shift in another plane of existence, and then they can shift back on
All right,
at will.
I'll tell Fisher not to hit it with its whip because that might not do too much then.
Phased
Well, I
spider.
think it's still a troll,
phased-
so it's still from.
Trolls,
Yeah, it's also still from
phased
here.
spider,
Oh.
they are from this world, so
Yeah.
they come back
Alright.
after a minute.
Well, I know a lot about this enemy, guys. We'll see how I.
There's one aspect of it that it feels weird. You don't know why. Its skin looks oily.
Okay.
How many monsters are in this monster?
It's been eating aberration.
Yeah.
Lots.
Lots of monsters.
Oh God.
Unfortunately, I think aberrations have a resistance to acid, so that takes the acid out of it.
Terry spits acid.
Yeah, usually
That's all I know.
aberrations are good with acid, so we might have to go for fire.
I have
Might be
ice
the only
damage we could
weakness it
do.
has. Well, yeah, but trolls don't care about ice. Ice doesn't stop their regeneration.
Damn.
I mean, yes, they're not resistant to it, but they're not.
So, with this
Anyway,
stuff for next
interesting, with this interesting creature right in front of you, barring the way to get out of this place, possibly, it's been eating aberration, possibly also capable of leaving parasite in whomever it strikes. You might have to do this on your own, but you'll decide on next.
I assume we're going to, because I assume that's what we're supposed to do, and not fight it with 45 points.
Yeah, that would be a little bit of a.
Yeah, we need to put them back like a little bit farther back in the cave.
I'll just tell the guards to protect Kalina, and
Oh,
just
hi.
actually make sure
If they have a bunch of
protect
archers,
Kalina.
have them do their thing, and then
Well, if I have any
Shoot over.
suspicions about this particular troll
X.
apart from any alterations, I think that would be a bad idea in general. Just put him anywhere near the soldiers.
Yeah. No, I think we want the soldiers not there. I might just tell the soldiers to back the fuck off. Be like, nope.
Yeah, go back in that tunnel over there.
I
where
want
we
you to
came
go
from.
back in that tunnel, and I want you to actually physically pin Kalina down so she can't leave.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see about this next
Oh
episode.
shit! I'm gonna die.
Obviously, guys, we just need to put her in the storage, and that'll cryogenically freeze her, and then we can pull her out.
No, but then when we wake up, she'll still be in there cryogenically frozen, and we can
Yeah,
revive
exactly.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be so cool.
Cryogenically
That's how
frozen.
science works.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna close the stream before the viewers lose faith in our party. And
that'd be a good idea.
yeah, so it's gonna be interesting for next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And you see, they learn. They didn't take 3 entire sessions to go through a labyrinth.
Just one. We've got it down to one.
They learn. They're not hopeless. It's good. It's good. We're all fine. So,
All right.
I hope you'll be there next week as we start with a very weird combat. And, or Friday, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for... Well, you didn't say much, but that's okay. I forgive you. Thank you for being here, and as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to Twitch, or simply by spreading the word about this channel. Because a lot of people makes it so that there are more people watching, you get more people talking, making fun of our mistakes, and maybe even some of them will subscribe. And I'll be able to do this for more than a few years before having to give up. So thank you very much for being here. See you next week. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Can I?